Before we begin this video, I do want to state that I'm not accusing Barack Obama of any wrongdoing or saying he's guilty of the passing of any of these people in this video. I'm just saying that these people passed away in very mysterious circumstances, and these people happen to be connected to Barack Obama in one way or another. For YouTube reasons, this video is also for entertainment purposes only. So with that being said, let's go ahead and begin. The very first person we're going to be talking about in this video is Loretta Fuddy. Now, Loretta Fuddy was Hawaii's Department of Health Director who released Obama's birth certificate. Loretta Fuddy's passing was swept under the rug as natural causes as a heart attack due to an event due to her age. But this event that had sparked this heart attack is so mysterious that to this day, many people still have questions. Now, on December 11th, 2013, a small plane in Hawaii on a routine flight in the middle of the day, taking off amidst a clear blue sky, suddenly experienced catastrophic engine failure, according to the pilot, Clyde Kawasaki. Shortly after the plane soared from Kalapapai, Molokai, Mr. Kawasaki heard a bang and the engine died.
All I know is bang, and I had an annunciator panel that was nothing but red and yellow lights, and fire warning was going off, and I was like, okay, I'm in trouble.
At that moment, all 9 passengers on board this plane were facing pure horror. Yet, due to the remarkable skill of the pilot, he had been flying since the age of 14 and had flown glider planes for many years, he was able to make mayday calls and also land the plane safely on the water. And so, according to the witnesses on the plane, none of the 9 passengers suffered any life-threatening injuries during the emergency landing, and most stunning of all, the pilot was able to get each of the passengers in the life vest as water flooded into the plane. Everyone made it out of the plane. None of the passengers even had a scratch, and even though these passengers made it out of the plane, they were not out of the woods yet. All 9 passengers at this point escaped with their lives not once, but twice. The landing had been smooth enough, and they were not trapped in the downed plane, as it was engulfed by the sea, that eventually claimed the entire plane. Even though these passengers made it out of the plane safely, their lives were still in danger. How long would they be able to float out there in choppy waters? The pilot tried desperately to keep the group together, and was increasingly dismayed that his passengers in the pitching waves were getting separated. He had given his life vest to one of the passengers and was clinging to a fellow passenger for dear life in the waves. One passenger, 70-year-old Philip Holstein, an Army veteran, made the brave decision to swim as fast as he could to the rocky shore to get help. That swim would take at least 90 minutes. So the question is, would he make it? Would the others survive? This would actually be some of the first pieces of conflicting information to come out, where news articles were saying that it was the 70-year-old Army veteran to swim 90 minutes to shore to get help. Other news articles that are now deleted were saying the Reverend on board the flight said that he and the pilot were able to get the passengers out of the plane wearing their life vest. However, once in the water, they were beginning to drift apart, and so he decided to swim ashore to get help. The Reverend, in a now deleted phone call interview, added that he did not meet the pilot until the pilot arrived at the airport, and the 70-year-old Army veteran is not the pilot. But anyway, continuing with the story, strange day, fate intervened again. Another pilot, Josh Lang, and his girlfriend, Jamie Thompson, were flying nearby on a leisure trip and spotted the plane in duress. No way was anybody going to lose their lives that day. The couple saw the 9 people in the water. They contacted the Molokai Tower and flew to the airport at Kalapapai to look for help. They flew back and hovered over the group to let them know that help was indeed coming. Now, had the couple not been so sharp in the decisions they made, the passengers may not have been located until well after dark, say pilots who spoke to Hawaii News Now. Quoting Josh Lang, he says, "It was pure luck we were there when we were. I wanted to get as much help as I could. Miraculously, help came in time. The Coast Guard and fire crews arrived on the scene and began to pull the remaining 8 passengers out of the water. Mr. Holstein, the 70-year-old Army veteran, even swam the entire 90 minutes to shore, making it safely to shore. For almost every one of the passengers, they made it out alive safely 3 times on the same day. But despite all the skill, luck, and striking twist of fate that preserved the lives of most members of this group, one person still managed to pass away. And who would be so unfortunate? Well, that one unfortunate person being the Department of Health Director Loretta Fuddy, age 65. She had been at the epic center of the greatest ongoing controversy of the Obama administration over a simple but basic question: is the president eligible to hold office? Amidst multiple media firestorms where there were indeed some serious questions whether or not Barack Obama was eligible to hold the presidency, most in the American public accepted the president's election victories as legitimate because of Loretta Fuddy's work. Loretta Fuddy was extremely vital and the only person to prove whether or not Barack Obama was eligible to be president. In April 2011, Donald Trump led the crusade for Barack Obama to produce his long-form birth certificate. The White House, after stonewalling for quite some time, at last complied.
Today, I'm very proud of myself because I've accomplished something that nobody else has been able to accomplish. I was just informed while on the helicopter that our president has finally released a birth certificate. I'd want to look at it, but I hope it's true so that we can get on to much more important matters so the press can stop asking me questions. He should have done it a long time ago. Why he didn't do it when the Clintons asked for it, why he didn't do it when everybody else was asking for it.
Ms. Fuddy confirmed Barack Obama's birth certificate as authentic, saying no way was Barack Obama born anywhere else but Hawaii. Yet, in the background, Ms. Fuddy did not realize that trouble was brewing. On May 14, 2013, Chief Investigator of the Maricopa County Cold Case Division, Lieutenant Mike Zullo, pursuing a criminal investigation, filed an affidavit to the Supreme Court of Alabama declaring the long-form certificate as a 100% forgery, with testimony by multiple forensic experts. 8 months after that stunning revelation, Ms. Fuddy passed away. The official narrative is that Loretta Fuddy passed away due to suffering a heart attack after hyperventilating after this plane event. But there was one passenger that said that all the passengers, including Loretta Fuddy, were absolutely fine. They were not in distress, they were calm. Mr. Holstein, the 70-year-old Army veteran, described this scene as one where no one was panicking and everyone was helping one another. He said Miss Fuddy was not in distress just before he left the scene and swam to shore. She was clinging onto her deputy, Keith Yamamoto, who was also on that flight. Mr. Yamamoto helped her to put on her life jacket, which was a infant-sized life jacket, and disembarked. There have been no reports that she was bleeding, was in any kind of pain, or crying out any more than the others. She was seen floating calmly along with the others, waiting for help. The pilot of the plane, Mr. Kawasaki, also said in a press conference he did not understand how she passed away. Quoted in a press conference saying, "I could not understand how that could have happened at that time. Excuse me, that she could have passed. I didn't understand how it could have happened," he said. Now, according to another passenger who also happens to be a reverend, Mr. Yamamoto was holding Loretta Fuddy's hand in the water, and she suddenly drifted away from him and passed away. When the Coast Guard arrived, she had no pulse. He, Mr. Yamamoto, recounted how he helped Loretta into her life jacket, and he held her hand for some time, said the reverend. They were all floating together, and she let go, and there was no response from her. When it comes to the life jackets, all other passengers had on adult-sized life jackets, except Loretta Fuddy. Loretta Fuddy had on a infant-sized life jacket. Now, I can't imagine an infant-sized life jacket on a full-grown woman going so far past her neck. They did try to say that another person was wearing an infant-sized life jacket, but 8 adult-sized life jackets were found, and only 1 infant-sized life jacket was found, and that belonging to Loretta Fuddy. The only person wearing the infant-sized life jacket, well, passed away. Interestingly enough, the only other person they said had on an infant-sized life vest was the Army veteran who swam to shore. So why was Loretta Fuddy given an infant-sized life vest to begin with? Well, according to the pilot, in the chaos of making sure everyone had on a life vest, an infant-sized life vest was pulled and given directly to Loretta Fuddy. Now remember, and again, I'm not blaming anybody of any wrongdoing, but Mr. Yamamoto, her deputy, said he was helping put on her life vest, but I can't imagine putting on an infant-sized life vest on a full-grown woman who's said to weigh 220 pounds. The only place that infant-sized life vest is going is over her head and around her neck. Not only was Loretta Fuddy's vest an infant-sized vest, but as coincidence may have it, it was also faulty. Only one of its carbon dioxide cartridges was working. The other one was punctured and empty. After the plane had landed safely on the water and there were multiple reports that everybody was calm, everybody was fine, nobody was injured, then the story started to slowly change. Among the passengers, one couple suffered serious injuries, a man suffered broken ribs and a head gash, his wife also had some broken ribs and a broken sternum. The pilot suffered serious head injuries. Now we are getting reports that there was a lot of chaos on the plane, so much so that Loretta Fuddy started to hyperventilate, and she had a heart attack, and she passed away. That was the official cause of Loretta Fuddy passing away. She suffered a cardiac event due to the stress that was put on her heart from this plane crashing into the water. Now, what is rather interesting is that there was GoPro camera footage that was released of this plane landing in the water, and it kind of correlates to what the 70-year-old Army veteran was saying. Everybody was calm, nobody was panicking. Listen to what the news reporters say at the end of this clip. They say how calm everybody was and there was not a single scream. Also, people have pointed out something rather interesting also seen in this clip as well.
Now to that ABC News exclusive and that extraordinary footage inside the plane crash. This we want to show you is the kind of camera it was shot on. It's called a GoPro camera, and it is a remarkable, remarkable video. Take a look. Those passengers don't know it yet, but they are seconds away from experiencing the worst fear of every air traveler. Suddenly, the alarm sounds. The plane is going down, spiraling into the ocean. A mad scramble as water fills the inside of the plane. Survivors going for the exits. Clinging to anything they can get their hands on.
Hold on. Oh, you gotta put it on first before you put it. You have to put it on first. Everybody okay?
Throughout the 3-minute ordeal, Ferdinand Fuentes' camera never stops rolling. even as a plane begins to sink into the ocean.
It is that fifth time stop, and everything that you remembered in your past, your loved ones and everything, this, I didn't say goodbye to them. Your whole life just goes in front of you.
And we were remarking and watching the video, listening, how calm everyone was.
Not a single scream, and so methodical, all getting out in time.
Now, people say, and I have to say I see it too, that in this clip, in this GoPro video, you can see what appears to be a scuba diver in front of Loretta Fuddy. Now, what's interesting is that there should be no scuba divers in this area. Neither was one reported to be among the passengers. It's just supposed to be these passengers exiting this down plane and these passengers wearing life vests. There was never a report of a scuba diver, but as you can see here, there does appear to be a scuba diver in front of Loretta Fuddy. Whether this is a scuba diver or not, what is seen on camera is vastly different than what was being reported by news and media. But all in all, the official cause for Loretta Fuddy passing away, the same woman who is very vital to this Supreme Court case that was later tossed away, well, again, she had a heart attack due to all the chaos that was surrounding her. But Loretta Fuddy would not be the only person connected to Barack Obama to pass away in the waters. What is also rather interesting is that this scuba diver was also a theory to another person passing away in the water. A Virginia man who worked as a chef for former President Barack Obama for over a decade, 45-year-old Tafari Campbell, passed away in a tragic accident while paddleboarding on Martha's Vineyard Sunday, July 23, 2023. When it comes to Loretta Fuddy, yes, it's very strange, it's very mysterious, but there can be pushback where people can say she's older, she's in her 60s, she's overweight. It's always possible she did indeed have a heart condition, and this event, her flight event, exacerbated this condition. No matter how many times you can beat it in a person's head that Loretta Fuddy's passing was very strange, there will always be that pushback. But when it comes to 45-year-old Tafari Campbell, bar none, this is the strangest passing of a person that was quickly swept under the rug. This is the type of case where you have to be in the upper echelons, high up in the ranks, in order to sweep under the rug and quickly sweep under the rug how this person passed away. Tafari Campbell first worked for George W. Bush and was asked to stay on to work for the Obamas. The Obamas said they liked Campbell's cooking so much, they asked him to stay on even after they left the White House. But it wasn't just Campbell's culinary skills that impressed the Obamas. They said in a statement after Campbell passed away, they loved his personality and the way he approached food. Tafari Campbell was visiting the Obamas at their Martha's Vineyard home at the time of his passing. It is said that supposedly the Obamas were not present at their residence at the time that Tafari Campbell had passed away. So then the question is, what exactly happened to Tafari Campbell? He was last seen paddleboarding near the Obamas' Martha's Vineyard residence. State police and the Obamas said that Monday. He went missing around 7:45 p.m. that Sunday on Eggertown Great Pond, Massachusetts, state police said. When this story had first been reported, police were called after someone reported that a paddleboarder had gone into the water, struggled at the surface, went under, and failed to resurface. Another paddleboarder saw him go under, police said. Police came out there with side sonar equipment. They did not find him until the next day. Divers recovered his body in about 8 feet of water, around 100 feet from shore, just before 10 a.m. that Monday. Police had also found him with no clothes on. His clothes were separated from his body. Now, here's the thing. When police went out there to find Tafari Campbell's body, they could not find it right away because apparently he had floated out to a much deeper end. He had fallen over in Eggertown Great Pond, but he ended up in another pond rather quickly, even though great ponds, they do not have quick currents. There also seems to be another interesting fact. Eggertown Great Pond is only anywhere from 2 to 4 feet deep. This 6-foot tall man could have easily stood up, but those who were paddleboarding in the area said they saw him go over, They saw him go under, he resurfaced, he went back under after struggling, in a pond that's anywhere from 2 to 4 feet deep. Was Tafari Campbell drunk? Did he have a medical emergency that caused him to go overboard? Did he have a heart attack like Loretta Fuddy? Even if you're young and healthy, you could still have a heart attack. No, none of that. An autopsy report came out, a toxicology report came out. He was clean, he had no drugs in his system, he had no alcohol in his system, and he had no medical emergency. It was just concluded this was just an accident. So who was the other person paddleboarding with Tafari Campbell? The fellow paddleboarder, when he drowned near the Martha's Vineyard compound, is also a staffer to the former president. So another staffer was paddleboarding with Tafari Campbell while the Obamas were apparently not at their residence. This staffer also reportedly tried to save Tafari Campbell from drowning. We are never given an age, a name, or the position of the staffer. Even still to this day, they are known as the staffer. This staffer, when they realized they could not save Tafari Campbell, they go back to shore, they reach out to Secret Service, who then calls 911. There are theories that this is not even a real 911 call. There was a lawsuit to release the 911 call because they were not doing so. When they finally did so, this was released, and people had said that this was not a 911 call. This is a dispatch. Some people even believe that this might be AI. We don't know. But even to me, this does not seem like a normal 911 call.
911, the sign's recorded. Where is your emergency?
We have a male drowning in the back of the property right now. We have our rescue swimmers. They're attempting to go out there right now.
What's your phone number that you called in on? What's the best access?
Swimmer and an agent driving down there right now to get on the boat. Someone came running up to our back post saying that a gentleman, it's just a guest of the house, is out there drowning. So right now, our rescue swimmer's going out there.
All right, and you said you guys have boat access, so what do you guys need? Do you need an ambulance, or do you need water rescue as well?
They didn't advise right now. I would say at least an ambulance, and I don't know if what they're doing in the back of the property right now. I know we have our rescue swimmer who's getting the boat right now. I would say at least an ambulance. I don't know what the time is.
All right, I'll send the ambulance over, and I'll contact the fire chief and see where he wants to go, the duty chief, and see if he wants to drop the boat in there.
I don't know if you have like a better number for me to call you back if we get him out of the water, and I can give you another situation report. They're not passing anything over the radio right now.
Yeah, I can give you that if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
And hit 0 at the prompt, and it'll come right to us.
0 at the prompt.
Yeah, 6 times 0.
We'll have our gate open, and we'll send an ambulance down to the front of the house, and I'll call you back once I hear about once they give a status report down by the water.
Mm-hmm. And do you know if it's a male or a female?
It's a male, 40. 40.
All right, it's male. All right, I'll start sending everyone out there, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, thank you. Take care. Bye.
This call is rather interesting for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason happens to be they found Tafari Campbell's paddleboard and his hat right away, but they could not find his body in a pond that does not have a current.
Sheriff's Office communications.
So our rescue swimmers aren't able to locate the gentleman that was reported drowning. So they're out in the water right now. But as of now, they don't know where he is.
Okay, so they're unable to locate the party right now.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any description of what he was wearing?
Do we know what he was wearing? Give me a second. Stand by, I'll let you know in a second.
Okay.
So all
He was wearing all black. We caught a hat and paddleboard.
Yeah, so he's wearing all black. He's on a paddleboard. He's a 40-ish-year-old black gentleman, regular build. And we have our rescue swimmers on a boat in the area right now.
Okay. And they haven't located the paddleboard either.
1 second. Payne from Command Post. Have you located the paddleboard? Copy. Thank you. All right. So they have the paddleboard and the hat.
It's rather slow.
But not him. And do we know if he was wearing a life vest?
Here that I have to keep stressing. This pond is only 2 to 4 feet deep. So again, like I said, they eventually found Tafari Campbell's body the next day, and again, he had no clothes on. His clothes were separated from his body. But come to find out, the Obamas were actually on Martha's Vineyard. They may not have been inside their home as it was stated, but they actually were on Martha's Vineyard. Outside on Martha's Vineyard. When this story had first came out, Barack Obama's chef drowns in Martha's Vineyard, news and media quickly came out and said it can happen, especially if a person is not such a great swimmer. But unfortunately for them, this video came out where it shows Tafari Campbell is actually a great swimmer. Because nothing in this story makes any sense whatsoever, of course then people will start to theorize as to what happened to Tafari Campbell. One of the theories is that a scuba diver was waiting for Tafari Campbell underwater. When he arrived, they knocked him off his paddleboard and they held him underwater. This scuba diver quickly took Tafari Campbell's body and brought it to the deeper end of Martha's Vineyard. So if Tafari Campbell passing away is something nefarious and sinister, then what did Tafari Campbell know or see that put his life in jeopardy? There are a lot of theories as to what Tafari Campbell actually saw, but one of the biggest theories is that he was writing a tell-all book that the Obamas did not approve. After Tafari Campbell had passed away, his wife was supposed to release this book, but she backed off, she backed away. News and media once again took over and said there was no such book that was going to be released. And well, that was that. The authorities, the investigators, the medical examiners all determined that Tafari Campbell, him passing away, it was just an accident. There was nothing suspicious. There was no foul play. He was not intoxicated. This 6-foot-tall man, he fell over on his paddleboard, landed in 3 to 4 feet of water, 2 to 4 feet of water, in a pond where the currents are not very swift, and he drowned. Now, it should also be rather interesting to note, a couple of days after Tafari Campbell supposedly drowned, these photos came out where it shows Barack Obama golfing. You can also see bandages around his finger, and he's also sporting discoloration around his eye. News and media quickly came out again and stated, well, Barack Obama always wears bandages around his finger or fingers when he goes golfing, but they could never debunk what happened to his eye. Now, there is Joan Rivers who said something about Michelle and Barack Obama, which I am sure they did not like on camera. And then after she says this on camera, she would pass away sometime later while having surgery.
Ms. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does
Before we do continue with this third person who is not Joan Rivers, I also want to mention that the Clintons also had a chef who mysteriously passed away as well, and the cause behind him passing away was that, well, he also drowned as well. There was no foul play, no suspicious activity, he just drowned. The next person on the list who passed away mysteriously after having a certain connection to Barack Obama was Andrew Breitbart. Andrew Breitbart was a 43-year-old conservative commentator and the owner of Breitbart.com. Back in February of 2012, Andrew Breitbart is said to have multiple videos of Barack Obama back in his college days that would damage his run for presidency once again in 2012. Breitbart gave multiple interviews stating, "I have videos this election, we're going to vet him. We are going to vet him from his college days to show you why racial division and class warfare are essential to what hope and change was sold in 2008. The videos are going to come out." He said he had multiple videos that would forever damage his legacy and also his current run for president once again. Breitbart said he would release these videotapes in the middle of March of 2012 after his website had been redesigned. People on the right, they were very excited about these videotapes. Now remember, once again, I said videotapes. People on the left, they were very curious. They were saying, what were these tapes going to show? Breitbart was finalizing the design of his website, and he was getting ready to release these tapes. At around 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on February 29, 2012, Breitbart collapsed on a street near his home in Brentwood. He was rushed to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, where he was pronounced deceased 12:19 a.m. on March 1st, 2012. The cause? Well, like Loretta Fuddy, he had a heart attack. So of course, due to the very interesting and bizarre timing, the internet just explodes with theories connecting Obama to Breitbart. Well, to save face to show that nothing sinister had taken place between Obama and Breitbart, somebody tells Breitbart.com to release a videotape. Breitbart.com does exactly that. They release one videotape. Now this one videotape is really nothing. I can't imagine that this is what Andrew Breitbart was going to use to bring down Barack Obama. Like I said, there were multiple tapes that were never released. News and media, they start to celebrate, they start to gloat. They say, is that all you got? Is this all you have? Is this your king? This one videotape where Barack Obama is giving a speech during his college years. And indeed, that was that. We did not get to see the other tapes that Breitbart apparently had. Barack Obama went ahead to win the 2012 presidential election. Would these other unreleased tapes have made a difference? We do not know. But what we do know is that the timing of when Andrew Breitbart passed away is indeed rather suspicious. Now again, I do want to end this video by saying I am not accusing Barack Obama of any wrongdoing. This video is just taking a look at 3 people, or 4 if you count Joan Rivers, who passed away in very mysterious circumstances, and they all had something in common. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.